So we're going to be working with the pad again, back to protected contact. I want to make sure he can do it in there and he can do it out in the open as well. But this was a little bit scarier for him actually being in the protected contact, being in the round pen specifically, um, because I had to bring the pad up higher and like the panel is kind of in the way, so I bump into that and stuff. So, but same process. I have this cone as a start button, and then I'll pop this on his back, and it's not gonna be on there perfect. I'm not gonna be careful about it, and it's kind of blowing. It's kind of windy, so I'm just gonna leave it up there for a few seconds. I'm gonna click while it's on his back, and then I'm gonna take it off. So again, same process. I'm just very gradually adding up the amount of time it can be on there. So pop it on his back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8, and then click, take it off. And I kind of put it that last time a little bit on his hindquarters. The time before was kind of up on his shoulder. So kind of playing with that so he's used to that as well. It's the same thing, put it on there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, click, take it off. And it, like when I'm doing this, sometimes I do count out loud so I know where I'm at and on what count I'm at, and that just helps a lot. So again, I'll put it on there and count to about 8, and then I'm gonna pop it off again. And then the same thing, putting it on and taking it off. I'm just very casual about it, nothing crazy. In the beginning, I want to be a little bit careful so it doesn't move too much, but I do want him to be used to that. Like it's going to blow off sometimes, it's going to fall off, it's going to go on quickly. And I want that to just be part of the pad. Like sometimes that's what the pad does, and it doesn't matter, it doesn't scare him. That's what I want. I don't want to be like very quietly and sneakily put it on and very sneaky put it off. That's not something that I want. I want him totally comfortable with it being thrown on and definitely comfortable with it flying off. Because potentially I could fly off. I would like him to be used to that things do that. Like things don't always stay on your back, and that's totally fine. And that's an important lesson for him to learn right now. So all the other things like you see, like I use a stuffed bear, like a tarp, a blanket, a saddle pad, saddles. I will be jumping on and off of him like lots of things. Things fall off of you, and that's just what happens. When like a lot of training, it's like you don't want to fall off, and so when you do, it can really scare the crap out of them, and we don't want that and make the situation worse. So same thing from this side, so you cued him to come over with his sideways cue. He does that well. Again, I'm using the cone as a start button. You just can't see it from here. He was a little bit worried where I would like put it over the panel and it would kind of touch him and touch the panel, so we just worked on that a little bit. And then it is kind of windy, so I'm trying to fight the blanket or the pad there, and it's like blowing around. So I'm just reinforcing him because he was totally fine with it blowing around. So again, I'm going to be doing about 7-8 seconds here, and then just kind of pulling it off. And this English saddle pads work really well because they have little Velcro straps, and I can use that as a little handle. And I like to start with that too because they're lighter, they're smaller, and then I'll move on later to that Western pad because they will eventually be ridden both English and Western. So I just want them to be used to whatever. So I'm make sure he can target and do other behaviors while the pad is on his back. And then eventually I'll just leave it on there while I feed him. And I'm just very gradually building up the amount of time by adding a second every so often. So every few tries here. So it's about 8-9 seconds there. And then clicking while it's on, and then again feeding. So that looked really nice. Nice, another quick session.